Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to Get Hired, Stay Hired, the show for executive job seekers who want to have the edge in their job search. Now, your CV and your covering letter may get you into an interview, but what actually gets you the interview and gets you onto the next one and beyond is what you do before, during, and after. And it's what you're doing in here, but also what you're portraying out to the world. So we're talking about mindset, confidence, and marketing. And I think am I going blurry already?
You're okay, but there was a few flashes, but you're all right. You're still with us.
Still flashing. Okay, so apologise for that. If there's any flashing going on in the background, we are here for 40 minutes. Not what I'm here. Oh, this show's going to go horribly wrong. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name's Sarah Farmer. I'm an executive coach, and I'm here to help you develop the right level of confidence and the skills to make sure that you get seen, get hired, and stay hired longer for as long as you want to, before, during, and after the whole process. And Vanessa is our marketer, visibility expert. Tell us more about you, young lady.
There's not a lot more to say, really. But yeah, I'm Vanessa Ashworth. I am a CMO or a fractional CMO. I am actually looking for work myself at the moment. So I'm sharing this experience with you and sharing my experiences as we go along. But I'm all about visibility, credibility, and memorability, and how doing all those three things can help you get hired, but also be successful when you get the role. Yeah. But enough about us. We want to know about you. So please get busy in the comments. Tell us who you are. Tell us what roles you're looking for. Maybe other people watching can help you, because they might know somebody who needs someone just like you. Also, let us know what's blocking you. What's been blocking you this week? What's getting in your way of finding that perfect role? How can we help? Put your questions in the comments and we'll try our best. As Sarah said, we're not about how to craft the perfect CV, but we are about mindset and marketing, because we want you to become magnetic so that the jobs come to you and you can keep your job as well. Yeah.
So yes, brilliant. Beautifully said. God, you should be in marketing. You're really good at this. So we have had some questions over the last week, which we're going to come to, which will be relevant to all of you at some stage during your executive job seeking adventure. Should we call it an adventure?
Yeah.
So we're going to look at those today. But obviously, if you've got questions, you've got blocks, frustrations, do let us know. And I also want to say that we had some good news, didn't we, last week? That as a result of this show last week, somebody felt that they had the confidence, the courage, and the conviction to go and do something a little bit differently, and it worked out in their favor. So there was a job that was a level below, and they went to email the person that had, the CEO of that role, saying what you want is this instead, and she's got a meeting with this person. So I love that. Well done. And we are quite needy, so do tell us if you're finding this show useful, what it is that you find most valuable, because we can keep doing more of it. But anyway, let's get straight into the first question, and it was all about personal branding. So I'm going to hand that over to you. What was the actual question?
So the question was, how do you get your personal brand to shine through on your CV? So I'm going to start answering this one, actually, because you don't need to put your personal brand forward on your CV. Your CV is, when you're applying for a role, is the first chance. It's your only opportunity to get through the door. So the CV has got to match the role, really. It's kind of, but it's what you can do beyond your CV that will help you. So it's getting in contact with the hiring manager, finding people who might be connected to the hiring manager and reaching out that way. But I would say, if you do want to make your personal brand to shine through on your CV, the way I do it is I've developed what my value proposition is, my kind of 7-word or 5-word kind of sentence in a nutshell of kind of who I am and how I help and how I do it differently than everyone else. So mine at the minute is making brands stronger and selling easier. So that's what I do. I'll make your brand stronger so that the sales are much easier. So making brands stronger and selling easier. So that's Vanessa Ashworth, making brands stronger and selling easier. And then I've got my contact information and
Nice.
what I do. And I lead, of course, with my best results, kind of 4 chosen kind of best results. So you can see exactly how I've done it before. So if you want to get your personality in your CV, that's where I'd put it. But otherwise, really, the CV is just to get you through that first stage, to show in really the top half of the first page that you are right for that role.
Yeah. And I don't know how many CVs are being just put through AI first, an AI scanner. So I imagine it is a little AI person scanning things. But, it doesn't care about your personality. The CV isn't. But yeah, good advice. That's one way of standing out, isn't it? So there was another question, which was. Yeah.
And this was about how do you kind of, again, it was a personal branding one, but whether you like the term or not, it was about how do you get across your personal brand on LinkedIn without being cringy? The question.
And it was around, I thought you said it was around thought leadership.
Yes, so this person had seen people on LinkedIn kind of sharing thought leadership and that kind of thing, and she found it a bit cringy. So she was asking me kind of, how do you get over that? What's all that about?
Okay. And just so you know, I've just had a message from a couple of people saying that, Malcolm, it's not coming through on their main feed.
Oh. I wondered why we were getting no comments.
Yeah. So if you can see us or hear us, could you let us know? Because I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, we will crack on, because you can always watch this on catch up.
Yeah, we can play it again, because we will record, won't it?
Yeah, we will play it again. But so the word cringy was the thing that stuck in my mind when I heard you. We talked about that question earlier. So if you want to be a thought leader or share your thoughts and help people understand what you do and how you do it, the first thing you've got to do is consider why does it feel cringy? So what is it you're thinking? What is it you're believing about yourself or about sharing your information that makes you feel that it's cringy? Because if you feel it's cringy, then it will come across all wrong, and you'll find it really hard to do that thought leadership post. If you consider that actually what you have to share might actually help somebody as well as yourself. So your intent is now not just about showing that you're available, but it's actually about helping people. Oh, good. Tim can see us. Great.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Tim. It's really weird just talking to Vanessa like this, but we do it a lot anyway, so it's all good. But yeah, so what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you believing about being seen? What are your fears? Because underneath all of this is a fear. And if you don't identify what the fear is, it isn't about being cringy. It's something else. It's about being exposed. It's about being told you're wrong. It's something. Figure out what the actual underlying mindset block is first. And if you are really struggling with that, please feel free to reach out to me. We can grab 10 minutes at some stage and work that through. Because once you've figured out what it is that's stopping you, we can figure out what the narrative is that's holding up that belief, then that fear. Then we can rewire it. Then you can start writing and showing up on LinkedIn or sharing your value wherever you need to show it with confidence, and it will feel so much easier. Great. Thank you. So practicality wise, Vanessa, I mean, I'm talking mindset wise, we've got to get the mindset sits underneath everything. So whatever Vanessa's about to tell you about practicalities, you'll go, yeah, great, won't do it unless this is right.
Yeah.
So let's assume we've got the mindset right. What are the practicalities?
Well, partially, I'm going to echo what you say, because on a marketing viewpoint, you have to think about your ideal client. So when you're posting on LinkedIn or commenting, you've got to think about who you're doing it for. And obviously, if you are job seeking, you are doing it for your next hiring manager, aren't you? So you've got to have this person in mind. You've got to have who is your ideal hiring manager. And therefore, when you post, you're posting about them, to them, about how you can help them. So it isn't about you, and it's so you have to get, as you were saying, get over
yourself.
About you. It's about who you're helping and how you help them. So that's the first thing. It's not about you, it's about them. But also if you find some things cringy, that's because you're not their ideal client. So that's fine. And we've said before about if you put out your personality on LinkedIn, there are some people who you will repel. That, you know, I do videos, I do this. If you don't like me, you're not going to hire me. That's fine.
And better to know that sooner, right? Better to know that earlier.
Absolutely. But some people might like me, and therefore they might want to have a conversation with me about how I can help them. So you attract the right people to you, you repel the wrong people to you. So it's all really useful and all good stuff.
Can I just jump in on that as well? Because that comes down to mindset as well, doesn't it? It's it's the scarcity mindset. If you've got a scarcity mindset, you're thinking, I've got to attract everybody and I'm worried about repelling anybody. Actually, the confident growth mindset is the one that says, I'm good at this, great at this, in fact, I add value and I just need the right person to see it, and not be worried about repelling or not attracting everybody, because you can't have everybody.
No,
it's not possible. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's absolutely it, though. I think in the job hunt, I think you've really got to, when you craft your CV, really know who you are, really know what your strengths are, really know the value you bring, what you're great at, and what you enjoy doing. And if you find all those examples of where you've delivered value and really enjoyed it and been really proud of it, and you craft your CV like that, and you become an expert in you and how you've helped companies in the past, then lean into that when you are delivering your thought leadership on LinkedIn, because you're then becoming the absolute expert in you. And people who like you will be magnetically drawn to you. So not only will you become more visible to your hiring managers, you'll find your tribe on LinkedIn, other people who like you, who will then start communicating with you and commenting on your posts and supporting your posts and making you more visible to other people as well. And it's those people who will refer you to the hiring manager who's 1, 2, 3 steps away or whatever, to get you that role. So lean into your personality, don't shy back, absolutely be you, and share the value, but go with you kind of what's in your CV. When I say be the whole you, be that whole professional value bringing you,
the best
professionally, whatever that means.
The best version of you. You don't want to be, if you're used to getting drunk on a Friday night, you don't want to be posting that and being all airy, not that whole you. I'm not saying that is you or me for that matter, but it's a kind of a level of how far do you go. Some people do, I think, kind of go over the top slightly, and it doesn't always go in their favor. But generally, if you're talking about work and you're explaining how you can add value, or you're sharing stories that are going to help people, you are absolutely fine. You don't have to share what you did when you were 5 years old unless you really want to.
And again, so this is the rule, isn't it? Because some people do overshare, we think, but that's because we aren't their ideal clients. If you always have your ideal client in mind, your hiring manager in mind, you won't go wrong, because you can ask yourself, when you've got a very clear picture of who they are, how would this person feel about this post? If it would make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit wary, don't post it. And that's my rule of thumb. So you'll often find that I'll post about nature and dog walks and mushroom foraging. Deer this morning. So I love nature, but I think my hiring manager probably loves nature as well. I do worry a bit about the mushroom foraging. I think people have got a bit of a fear of mushrooms, so I'm gonna stand back from that a little bit. But it is just nature. For me, it's just an appreciation of like the fascinating nature that we have around us. But I appreciate that makes
the mad mushroom lady.
And I'm really not. And I'm, I'm not mad.
I didn't think at all. Actually, this weekend, just going off on an aside, there was a load of mushrooms in the garden, which I went to rake up. Then I thought I should have taken a picture and shared it with you first to see if they were edible. But then the dogs have been out in the garden. I'm like, no, thank you. Anyway, I digress. And we have said it before, and we will say this over and over again about if you aren't feeling comfortable enough to share your thought leadership in a post, please comment and add your thought leadership. Vanessa has said several times now about your numbers. What were they? So
I had a look this morning. So was it last Tuesday or the Tuesday before? I can't remember. I commented on a post the comment is now running at 41,700 views.
Wow. I'm going to give up posting and just start commenting.
Just can't comment.
I can't be bothered anymore. It takes flipping hours to write a post, and then you get 5 people look at it and you write a comment and that happens. But on a serious note, it's so worth it. You don't know, but do make sure that you're commenting on the right people's posts. And the other thing I was thinking was, it's very tempting, and I know I did this as a coach to start with, is just keep supporting coaches and get coaches to support you. Well, that doesn't get me anywhere, because coaches are not my target audience. So actually what I need to be looking at is senior leaders, executive leaders, in certain, like learning and development, HR, though, whatever your thing is that you are best at and you're selling, make sure you talk to those people and look for their posts. Even if the numbers aren't high, it's worth directing it to the right people.
And absolutely, this is a job searching tactic, isn't it? If you have got examples of companies, so find companies who you might like to work for.
Mm-hmm.
Do a search on ChatGPT to ask it to find companies that look like this near you, whatever that is. Then go and search them on LinkedIn. Find the executives, the leaders that are influential for the job you want. Ring their bell on LinkedIn to be alerted to when they're posting, and the HR and the talent acquisition people. Start commenting on their posts. And then after a few nice comments, you can send the direct message, and they already know you. They already appreciate you. And you've already shared some kind of great thoughts with them. So that's a job hunt tactic.
Yeah. Hello, Lucia. Welcome. We've got Karen here. We've got Tim as well. I hope you have a great productive week. Yes, I hope we all do too. So let us know what you've been up to, any wins you've had last week, or anything that you're stuck with, any questions you've got. Is what we're saying helpful, making sense to you? Do you feel able to use it? Do let us know your thoughts on what we are talking about today. There was another question about when... Well, it was 2 things. Is how do you stop yourself from getting depressed and feeling like giving up? Because it can take some time, especially when we're looking for executive roles. It can take 6 months, a year sometimes to find these roles. I'm not saying it will, so don't panic, but it can do. So how do you keep yourself motivated? And there was another part to that question which I've forgotten.
No, it was kind of how not to be depressed.
Oh, and also and then that linked into
when to apply.
How do you stop yourself from taking a job below or 2 jobs below? Because when is desperate. So if we look at the first one, which is how to remain resilient, that's the question really. Is the best tips I can give you on this is understand. Oh, it's a double bell.
Wow. Yeah, so when you click on somebody's bell, it gives you the option then to either be notified about all their posts or be notified about some relevant posts. So go for all the posts.
Okay, and then you can comment on their comments because I'm drifting back into this conversation.
Yeah, no, sorry, just put
but before we go back onto how do you remain resilient, is not everybody that we want to speak to is posting. I find that. A lot of execs in roles won't be posting, so it's difficult to comment or get involved in them. So find out what they're commenting on, and comment on their comments is the only way around it. So we're talking about how do you stay resilient while you're job seeking, because you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince or princess, depending on which way you're going. The best thing to do is to treat this like your job. All right. I've seen people do this and do it really well. Is, your job search is like a job. If you're going to have a week off, that's okay too, but plan that in, give yourself a week off. If you're going to be making lights for a light show like Vanessa's been doing all week, that's okay. That's your week off, but have a plan. Think of it like your own business plan. Create a plan. And to stop getting depressed, you need micro plans at the beginning of every week, which we've talked about before as well. Is what are you going to do this week? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to follow up on? What recruiters do you need to speak to? Which organizations haven't you researched yet and found somebody in the leadership team that you could reach out to? Who haven't you got in touch with yet that's in your network that you've known for the last 10 years that you could just say, look, I'm looking, could we have a coffee? But resilience is a funny thing. It comes from what we choose to believe to be true. Again, it comes down to what we're thinking. It's okay to have down moments. It's really normal to feel a little bit low when you're doing this, and that's okay too. Accept that. However, if it goes on for too long, it can get in your way of doing anything effectively. So give yourself moments if you need to, but remain positive on what is the goal? What am I trying to achieve? What do I believe about myself? I like people to create little sort of happy buckets of information. You can keep them on a file rather than an actual bucket or a tub, but things you can dip into about what am I brilliant at? Remind yourself of those stories when you're going to write a thought leadership post or comment. Pick one of those out. One, it boosts you up and reminds you what you're good at, but two, it gives you something to talk about. And be careful of your thinking, because people who are really resilient notice how their thinking is driving them. Is it driving you to what you want or away from what you want? Because your thinking will then lead to how you feel, and then your feelings will lead to how you behave. So just keep an eye on that. And if you want to look into more of that, you can look up the cognitive state triangle, where it is a triangle. What we think, what we feel, and what we do are all linked. So if your thinking is starting to go off, I'm never going to get a job, your brain will start to go, oh, crap, I'm never going to get a job. And then you start to behave desperately, which then alienates you from getting the job, because you're not writing as clearly in your covering letters, you're not showing up in your interviews as clearly. So yeah, be careful what's going on in here. Anything you would add, Vanessa?
Well, I'm just thinking, I like what you said about it being a business plan. And I remember a while ago getting the advice to kind of set myself up a board of directors for my job hunt. Yeah. So who you're going to be accountable to, and things like that. Who can help you around the table. And what I like to do, and Lucia says as well, celebrate the small wins. At the beginning of every day, I will write, what are my goals for the day? What will success look like? So or for the week, will it be 5 job applications, or will it be 20 connections, or will it be, what does success look like? And I think if I've got a plan of what I want to achieve, and I create some goals for each day or for the week, if I can tick them off, which shows that I'm making progress and I'm doing something positive for the job search, and I'm not just kind of frittering the week away building lanterns, for example.
Not every week. You're not allowed to use that excuse next week.
No, exactly. So it's okay that this week I'm going to be up a hill busy. Yeah. As long as I kind of get a few things done.
But it feeds your soul as well, doesn't it? Which is what Lucia was saying. It feeds your soul. So you've got to celebrate the small stuff too.
Yeah. So what else does Lucia say?
So talking from experience, try not to let your job search consume or define you. Yeah, easier said than done sometimes. Prioritize well-being every day. Treat yourself, whether it's going out for coffee, watching a film, go for a walk, do something. Take it a day by day, not a full journey. Yeah, so there's, if any of you would like a copy of my faulty thinking document, I'm very happy to share it. So just either put yes in here now, I'd like your faulty thinking document. It will help you see the types of thinking that are unhelpful and stop us from being resilient. So what's quite nice is when we're having a faulty thinking pattern, we can go and look at this document and go, which one am I having? And even just interrupting the pattern helps us become more conscious of what we're doing, and then we can make better choices to stop it. So if you're watching this on repeat or playback or whatever, you can DM me. But if you'd like that, then do let me know. I'll pop it over to you. But you're absolutely right. Lucia is spot on. You've got to celebrate the small stuff. You've got to get out. So brilliant. So I had 3 calls from recruiters last week. Each one boosted me up and helped me stay positive. Awesome. Great stuff. So yeah, what are your plans for this week? Part of what we're very happy to do is to keep you accountable. So what are you up to this week? What do you want us to check you've done by next week? Because it's tough being on your own. It's hard remaining accountable when you're doing it on your own. So that idea of having who's in your board of directors and your accountability group is really important.
Yeah, I think you need a cheerleader in there as well, don't you? You need somebody who just always says, "Oh my God, you're the best."
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Vanessa, you're the best.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, just tell Vanessa she's the best. You're all the best. Everyone's the best. So you are the best, and it's who you are best for that we're interested in. Now that brings us on to when do we give in and go a step or two below. I mean, I've got a lot of strong feelings on this, and what I want to say is this is so incredibly personal and dependent on your own finances. What I will say though is you will know when your crunch period is, when you need to do that. What I would like you to do before you get there is write in your business plan is how long have you got? How long is it for you that you can cope with the money that you have available to you before the shit hits the fan? Obviously you want to do something before the shit hits the fan. But most people I'll say to, oh, they're so worried, I'm going to have to do this. And I will say, well, you know, how are you financially? How long have you got? And they're like, oh, I don't really know. Okay, we're basing, this is faulty thinking as well. We're basing a thought and then an action on false information and fear. So if you haven't done that already, some of you will already have done it. Please do that. Check what it actually looks like financially for you for the next 3, 6 or 12 months. So you've got a clear picture. And make sure that when you do decide that it's time to try a different level role, that you have hand on heart done everything you can to make sure that you have achieved the possible success you could have had for an exec role. That means mindset, marketing, everything that we're talking about, not just a CV and sending in loads of applications. It's how are you showing up, how are you being seen, how are you thinking, how are you applying for things like that. Because what I'll also find is that people will say, yeah, I've done everything I can. I'm like, right, let's go and have a look at your LinkedIn, or let's have a look at the comments you've made. Nothing. You haven't done everything that you could. How many people have you rung in your network out of the top 50? No one, or 5. Not good enough. So I sound like I'm being really, really harsh here, but the truth is you've got to be firm on yourself. Don't give up until you've done everything. And if you're not doing everything you can do yet, however icky or uncomfortable it feels, please do yourself a favor. Give yourself the best chance. Listen to our advice. Trust yourself. Do what we're suggesting, and then you probably won't need to go looking for those roles.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I think a lot of people will think that applying for roles on LinkedIn and other job boards is enough.
Nah.
You know, I did find a role from LinkedIn last time I was in this position, but that's really rare. And you hear that it is so rare to get a job from a job board. So you really do need, especially at the exec level, you do need to make yourself visible elsewhere, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's in the comments, whether it's to your network. But it's rare. So don't just sit back and think, well, I've applied for 20 jobs this week and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I've applied for 500 in the last 5 months. You need to do something else.
You do. You absolutely do. So yeah, and this is a great example. And so Karen's asked for the faulty thinking document. That isn't what I've called it, but I can't remember exactly what I called it. I will send it to you, Karen. If you can just send me a DM with your email address, that'd be great. I'll get it sent over to you today or tomorrow. But even just doing something like this is a step forward. So when we're talking about celebrating the small wins, Karen, I want you to say, I said I wanted the thinking document and I've read it and I now know what I you know, how my brain's working. That is a positive. That's different to what other people are doing. Good growth mindset stuff. So I've seen Lucia says, yes, please. I think that was to the, do you want to
document?
Yeah. So, right, Lucia, what's your plan for this week? What can we keep you accountable with? And I'd like you to be as smart as possible, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So what are you actually going to do? How many people are you going to call? You don't have to tell us who they are because they want the surprise. But yeah, give us an idea of what you'd like us to help you stay accountable for. Right. Are there any other questions, concerns, any other blocks to your success that we haven't covered today yet that you're thinking, God, I just want to ask this, or I'm feeling frustrated because.
Yeah, and ask us now, because we're taking a bit of a holiday. I'm For the rest of the week, I'm going to be up on a hill delivering an event for a charity. So I'll be very, very busy. But my accountability is I will be posting from up the hill, talking about how I deliver events other than charity events. But we're not here next week because I'll be then dismantling the festival and you're away. And then the week after, it's half term. And I think we're both kind of being pulled in different directions. But we're not disappearing completely. So if you do have questions in the meantime and need a boost, do contact us via direct message. And if we can help, we absolutely will.
Yeah, completely. I'm actually not going away. I'm going to have my knee operated on. So I will be stuck, really stuck for 6 weeks in the house. So please send me messages. But I'm intending to be quite high as a kite on painkillers next Monday, which is why I won't do it. Otherwise I would. If I'm not, I might come on, but we'll see. So yes, and the other thing is obviously we've got 6 or 7 or 8 of these now, of these shows. So if you think, actually, I just want a bit of an energy boost or something, go and watch one back. Right, so let's just see. Tim, being in a just because I have a job.
Does that mean you're not happy in your current job and therefore it's difficult to find the next one? Or
yeah, not sure what the question is, Tim. If you want to put it out there, put it in here, or yeah, that would be helpful. I'm not sure what that means. Some people I know are stuck in jobs and they're so busy being in a job, they haven't got the time to dedicate to looking for another job. So I'm wondering if that's what you mean. Yeah, let us know, Tim. Be interesting to get.
And I would say then, just really quickly, if that is the case, make sure your profile, your LinkedIn profile, is absolutely set up for the job you want.
Yeah,
and it tells the story for the job you want, and in the about section and in your title, what is it you're looking for and what's your value, and obviously click that box then that says that you're open to recruiters, not the one that gives you the green circle, but that first level to show that you're looking. I would say, if you're looking to get out.
Yeah, and often people will say that it's much easier to get a job when you're already in a job because you've got that scarcity thing, is you're not available, therefore we want you more. Not always, but yeah. So let us know a bit more about that. So Lucia,
just on that, Tim says it's a contract one. So that I've been there, Tim. I know this. You're in a role. You've got to find the time to look for that next role, and that's the uncomfortable part about being a contractor, isn't it? It's you're trying to immerse yourself completely in the job that you're doing. At the same time, you've got to try and make time for visibility to get that next contract. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard work. And the truth is, you're in a sales role as well as a contractor's role. It's the same for me as an executive coach. You know, the clients I have now won't always be with me. So even though I'm working for them and doing everything for them, I've still got to keep my head above the parapet and keep posting and looking. You know, it's not a one-stop shop. I guess with the contractor stuff, you're in it for 6 to 12 months or something, and it's one client and you're all in, and it's like a real job. I call them, like proper job. I mean, I do a real job, but it's with, you know, lots of different people. But, you know, maybe posting once a week, maybe commenting, maybe getting seen. If you need any help with that or want some support, then let us know.
You know what? And let's do that. Get over that horrific British thing that I know I am absolutely guilty of, is asking contracts for references and get them on LinkedIn. I'm terrible at that. I hate it.
Why? Why do we hate it?
Why do we hate it? I don't know. I mean, we should just write it for them and say, look, I've written a reference for you to give me. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that. I've mostly when I finished a contract with somebody, I will say, you know, I'd say it up front. Actually, say it up front. So when I start the contract, when I finish the contract, I'd really like you to, if I've done a good job, would you? So you've already set it up, so they know it's coming. They've already said yes once. When you finish, you say, I asked you to do that thing. You said you would. Here it is. Do you want me to draft something for you to do? Because the worst thing is people don't know what to say. So sometimes my clients will say, well, could you draft something about what we've covered, because we've covered so much? Then they will adapt it for what they want, and then they're happy to recommend. Yeah. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask. So right, Lucia, following up on recruiters for roles I've been put forward for, have been called. That's
the accountability of what she's going to do.
Yes. Okay, keep us posted on that. I find it hard to stay motivated after 9 months of unemployment. Yeah. Do you know what? you are so human. It's really, really tough, really tough. I think it's also worth giving yourself, when you're looking at your business plan, is to give yourself timelines for things up front. How long am I going to give this at this level? If that doesn't work, what will I do? So a lot of the times we're doing strategies, we have plan Bs. What would be a plan B?
And do something different. Maybe it's not going down. Maybe level up. Try something new. Try something different.
Yeah. But yeah, keeping yourself resilient is tough after 9 months. I hear you. I really hear you. You have to remember your job is out there. You have been employed before. You will get employed again. And that's the narrative, that when the other one comes in going, my God, it's been 9 months. How much longer is this going to take? Right. That's a really normal thought. But hold on a second. My brain's going to go into fear mode. What will I do if I'm in fear mode? I won't be as effective. So, right. Snap out of it. Repeat. I will get a job. My perfect job is out there. Keep it on repeat and keep your brain as calm as possible. I'm sending you huge hugs because it's tough.
Positive affirmations. I like that.
They work. They absolutely work. And it isn't that just positive affirmations will get you a job, but positive affirmations will allow you to be more effective so that you can get a job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your brain's operating in murky water. Oh, good. Yes, I like this. So doing something different. So completing an HL qualification keeps me focused. Absolutely. If you have got some funds, invest in yourself a bit, in something. Learn a new skill. Get some help from somebody. Because when you're going for interviews and people say, what have you been doing for the last 9-12 months? You go, well, actually, whilst I was busy looking, I was also getting myself qualified in this. And you've got an interest. Mm-hmm. So I love that. Yeah, top notch. Great stuff. Okay, we are coming up to time. So just a reminder that we are not going to be here next Monday or the Monday after. We'll be back on the 3rd of November. If you have any questions that you want us to look at next time, or you're stuck, or you need some support, we're both available on our DMs. I will be literally stuck in bed for 2 weeks, if not longer. My leg's strapped. So I am happy to help, and we can always give you our thoughts and support, or check back in on the previous shows or this show if you need a bit of a boost. But please remember, you are amazing. You're absolutely brilliant at what you do. You will get your job. Do all the right things better than everybody else and more frequently, and you'll move up the pile and get your job faster. Okay.
Absolutely. And share your successes with us. We love a success story.
We do. Listen, everybody, have a brilliant week or two. Keep doing the stuff we've talked about. Let us know how you're getting on, and we shall see you on the 3rd of November.
Fabulous.
Have fun this week, Vanessa, up the hill.
Thank you. Yes, it's going to stay dry, hopefully. So
it will.